Hey there folks, Aldershot here, and today we're going to take a look at a game called Devil Daggers. It's developed by Soulwrath and is available on Steam at the regular price around $5 USD. So it's a little bit of a cheapie, and we'll explore why that is. But let's just jump into the game so we can check out some of the gameplay and mechanics and all that kind of good stuff. Play. Alright, so let's grab our Devil Dagger. Perfect. So Devil Dagger is actually a pretty simple little game. It's essentially an endless arcade shooter, if that makes any sense. Oh god, we died already. And it's a pretty challenging game, if you can't tell already. The premise is pretty simple. You just have to go around shooting a bunch of stuff and not die. It's all about surviving as long as possible, right? Now to do that, you're going to want to do a couple of things. You're going to want to keep the enemies at bay. So I highly recommend killing these big guys as quickly as possible, because if you don't, they will continuously spawn more and more enemies. Now these little skulls that's following us, they're not too bad. As long as you keep moving, they generally won't hit you. These bigger skulls with the horns, they're a little bit more troublesome. They'll actually come out and seek where you are, and they'll kill you more often than not if you don't kill them quick enough. So the whole idea is to kill as much and as quickly as possible while surviving and not dying. There's also an edge of the map, and if you fall off that, that will also cause your death. Now if you kill some of these bigger guys, either the horn skulls or these bigger dudes, they'll also drop red diamonds or emeralds or whatever you want to call them. And they will increase the power of your Devil Daggers. And there's also a couple of ways to shoot. Literally a couple ways. You can shoot a stream of them just like this, which is great for taking out these big guys. Or you can tap your shoot button and it'll shoot more of a shotgun blast, which is great for taking out the smaller dudes that are giving you trouble. Right? Now the longer you survive, the more enemies will appear and more variety of enemies will appear. And yeah, that's essentially the game. There's really not too much to it. However, the game is extremely challenging. It's extremely difficult. In fact, under the game's description, it states that the average player will only last anywhere between 45 seconds to a minute. And indeed, that's actually around my average, around 45 seconds to a minute. I think my longest game was 72 seconds, which isn't all that long to be honest, so I'm pretty average, to be completely honest. But yeah, it's a pretty simple little game that's quite challenging. That'll definitely push the player to, I guess, to their edge, if that makes any sense, as far as their ability to survive. There's a few, strategies that you have to consider, right? It's all about keeping the enemies at bay, shooting all the big guys so they don't spawn too much other enemies, and that's basically the strategy. There's not that much to it. It's a little bit repetitive, but I think the better term for it is that this game features a bit of a gameplay loop, if that makes any sense, right? So you're going to be doing this a lot, over and over again, trying to beat your high score. And if you're not down for that kind of gameplay style, Devil Daggers might not be up your alley, right? However, if you are, this game definitely has a bit of an addictive value to it. It's all about, hey, I think I can do a little bit better. Let's play one more game. Hey, I think I can do a little better. Let's play one more game, right? It's all about that self-determination. It's all about that high score and survival time, much like other kind of short burst arcade games, right? And this game definitely features that sort of gameplay. So you're into that. If you're into like high scores and challenging yourself and self-determination and all that kind of stuff, Devil Daggers actually does a pretty good job at fulfilling that need, right? Now besides the gameplay, let's kind of talk about the graphics and the presentation a little bit. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. I love the art. It has this really eerie, kind of gothic horror look to its presentation, right? It's absolutely creepy as all hell, and it's done in this sort of pseudo pixel art 3D style, and it's something that grabbed my attention, right? It's the presentation. I love the gothic look to this game, and that's definitely going to be, I think, a lot of people's reason to kind of want to check out the game. Now, my only real complaint about Devil Daggers isn't really the gameplay itself. I actually really like the gameplay. Even though it is a little bit repetitive, I don't mind that under the context that this is more of an arcadey kind of high score game, right? My only real complaint about the game, it's actually more of a compliment than anything else, is that there's not more of it, right? Now, again, I do understand the arcade nature of a game like this. I understand that games like this generally are a little bit more repetitive than others, but I kind of feel like the graphics is just so well done, it's almost wasted on a game that is almost, I kind of want to say, so short on content, right? There's really only one mode to play, and that's the survival, high-score arcade kind of mode, right? And there's no story to it. Just like I said, it's just this one mode, and I'm actually really intrigued by this game's world, this game's atmosphere. I want to know more about it. I want to see more from this game because I just so enjoy the presentation and the look of this game, and I won't say it's disappointing, but I would really like to see if this game was kind of fleshed out a little bit more, you know, as far as content's concerned. And like I said, that's almost more of a compliment just because I am enjoying the game so much that I do want more. But the fact that I do want more and this game's not really offering to me can be kind of perceived as a problem, right? But other than that, the game is extremely challenging, and when you do end up breaking your own record, it is very, very satisfying. The gameplay loop is very, very challenging, and again, very, very satisfying. And it's definitely not an easy game. But that's actually one of the reasons why I like the game as well. But that's essentially Devil's Dagger. It's not a very complicated game. It's actually quite simple. But it's very, very challenging. And in some cases, when you break your own records and stuff like that, it can be very, very rewarding as well. It's all about paying attention to your surroundings. It's all about you know, micromanaging what you shoot, what you prioritize, and killing, and all that kind of stuff, right? So it's a good game. It really, really is, and it's at a fair price at $5. You know, when I first looked at the game, I was like, how can a game this good looking be only $5? But now that I'm playing it and understand that it's actually pretty short on content and really, really relies on the gameplay loop that it's kind of developed for itself, I can understand why it's $5. And I think $5 is a very, very reasonable price for a game like this. But it's pretty enjoyable though if you're into this kind of arcadey arena shooter type of games, right? It's not too complicated, but it is very, very challenging. So that's about it, guys. That's Devil Daggers. I'm doing horrible. It's definitely a very challenging game. So if you enjoyed this, you know, show me some love, like, share, fave, and comments. If you haven't already, subscribe, and I'll bring you lots more video games just like this. Thanks for watching, everyone. All the shout outs.